are listening to Philam Radio, KEST 1450 AM.
Yan ang awitin ni Lea Salonga at saka ni Claire Moore, I Still Believe. Aba, ito po ang isang awitin mula sa musical play na napamagatang Miss Saigon. At kayo po ay nagtataka sa ating awiting ito dahil very relevant po ang awiting ito para sa ating topic ngayong hapon tungkol po sa 40th anniversary ng Vietnam War. Okay? At of course, pag-usapan po natin ang ating mga kababayang mga Vietnamese na dumaan pa sa Pilipinas para mag-aral ng Ingles noong panahon ng 1975. And of course, makasama po natin ngayong hapon na to ang isa sa ating mga kaibigan na naging tulay para tayo ay makausap ang ating mga kababayan dyan sa Presidio Trust na alam natin na merong exhibit na nangyayari ngayon. At gusto nating ipakilala, of course, ang ating kaibigan na si Madam Letty Quezon. Good afternoon, Madam Letty, and welcome to Philam Radio Studio dito sa San Francisco.
Good afternoon, Brian, at good afternoon din sa lahat ng ating mga nakikinig ngayon. Good afternoon to all our radio listeners today.
And of course, before we talk about the ongoing exhibit at the Presidio Trust, let's go back in the year 1975. Can you tell us more about the Philippine Refugee Processing Center, Letty?
Yes, Brian, be happy to. The Philippine Refugee Processing Center, or PRPC as we call it, was a large facility near Morong, Bataan in the Philippines. It was used as the final stop for Vietnamese refugees making their way to permanent resettlement in other nations. For our Filipino listeners, they probably are familiar. It was with the location. It was located in the south of Subic Bay and north of the Bataan nuclear power plant. And the camp prepared Vietnamese refugees for immigration, primarily to the United States.
And of course, some of them may remember how we had a lot of Vietnamese refugees in our country, the Philippine Refugee Processing Center in Bataan, how some of these refugees became our very good friends. Some we serve as English teachers to them. Some we taught how to make balut and how they became part of our lives for a time.
Yes, and there was a large population of Filipinos working in that refugee camp. And PRPC operated like a small city with schools, hospitals, libraries, restaurants, sports facilities, sewage facilities, power generation facilities, and houses of worship for 4 religions. And yes, many Filipinos really hold fond memories of these Vietnamese who became lifetime friends, actually, until they lost touch with them after the refugees migrated to the U.S.
Well, this year, as we celebrate the 48th year of the war in Vietnam, from which these refugees fled their home and country, we remember our Vietnamese friends. This year, there is an ongoing exhibit at the Presidio here in San Francisco about these Vietnamese babies who were airlifted from their country and placed for adoption with U.S. families. And of course, today we have Liz Clevenger from the Presidio Trust to talk to us about this ongoing exhibit. And before we talk to Liz, let me give a little bit background of the exhibit that's going on at the Presidio. And this exhibit is titled Operation Baby Lift, Perspectives and Legacies. Operation Baby Lift was a dramatic event in history. More than 2,000 children were rescued from their war-torn country after Saigon fell in 1975. About 1,500 of these children passed through the Presidio before being adopted by American families. Their legacies live on through the exhibit that marks the 40th anniversary of Operation Baby Lift and the end of the Vietnam War. And we have on the other line, Liz Clevenger. Hello, Liz.
Hi, and thank you for having me on your show today.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling us, Liz. And we have here Letty Kisan. And also we have Andy, my partner here, joining us in our conversation for this afternoon. And let's go straight to our first question, Liz. We know that you oversee the Presidio Trust Archaeology Laboratory and that you manage the collection comprised of 500,000